Moon gang, hello. As you can see, I was just reading a little bit of Sorry Charlie's comments there. Hello. We're coming back for the afternoon session on today, Tuesday, September 28th. Not the best day in the markets. I mean, I was watching early this morning, IWM, SPY both had a pop. I was like, all right, this is it. This is the V-shaped recovery. And then later on, more recently, around 1 p.m., I was like, this is the V-shaped recovery. And alas, we're not seeing much of that V shape. Like the overall markets, the SPY, the Qs, the IWM, just driving things down at the moment in time. Crypto's taking a hit. Bitcoin's at 41,400. Ethereum's 2,820. Hex is kind of holding on, I guess, a little bit, 42 cents. Cardano just above $2. We're just seeing a sea of red. In terms of AMC, currently at 37.40. GME currently at 181. What were some of these other ones that people were talking about this morning? How's CEI? I mean, it's still above 3. At least it's green. It's up by 12%. CEI is literally the only green stock on my chart. Like, if you're seeing something that's green or even like close to being green, it's a good day for that. ATER is at support. You want this to bounce kind of off of these low 11s. BBIG, it looks like a gap filled. You have some support around 6 flat. What else do we have? ATER, BBIG. People have been talking about GREE. This one looks like it's gunning for a new all-time low. We have ANY. ANY is flat. I mean, ANY, I guess it is still down 6.7%. Even Tesla getting smacked out. Like, we're just seeing this big sea of red. Man, oh man. Oh, people, charge point, MMAT. So much going on. MMAT is having a good day. Hey, up 4%. MMAT, that's at least one that's flexing. I mean, it's a sad day, like when we're just kind of going around looking for something that's a little bit green, and this just shows you the power of like the overall market. Okay, so AMC, there's a net return of 81,000 shares today. Short interest is still sky high, 20.74%. Once again, this is for AMC. In terms of GME, they borrowed 272,000 with a short interest of 14.33%. That's just, I wanted to give you those numbers for the afternoon session so you know where we are at. Okay, Senator Warren calls Fed Chair Powell a dangerous man, says she will oppose his renomination. Senator Elizabeth Warren charged Tuesday that Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell has led an effort to weaken the nation's banking system, and she vowed to oppose his renomination. In fact, this kind of came out a little bit earlier, 11:30 today, and then I saw on the Twitter sphere that they're like kind of pointing out these connections between Jerome Powell and BlackRock, I think. Something to dive into. I'm not like fully up to date on it. I was just reading it before I started the stream for the afternoon, but something interesting to dive into. And it's kind of funny how this dives, or it has a relation to, dude, Sorry Charlie here. This dude, he just tweets way too much. I love how he's retweet. Of course. Sorry Charlie is someone who's retweeting Citadel Securities in reference to Robinhood. Absolutely Looney Tunes. What a ding dong. I admit it. He's living rent-free in my head. He just angers me. But I just want to give you the update. So before he was talking about like this North Korea thing and payment for order flow. Payment for order flow is banned in Canada and North Korea. Does North Korea even have like an exchange? But anyway, he stepped into the arena here. Okay, so I want to articulate this all properly. Since payment for order flow is banned in Canada and North Korea, some people think we should be more like Canada and North Korea. That's the dumbest thing ever. That's just like saying there's a mass murderer out there. Be like, that mass murderer, he has 2 hands and you have 2 hands. That means you're just like a mass murderer. It's like the dumbest analogy ever. And then, of course, the intellectual titan Dave Lauer comes in. This is one of the craziest, most absurd equivalencies I've ever read. Payment for order flow, unnecessary off-exchange trading is banned in Canada, UK, Europe, Australia in various ways with varying success. Why does North Korea have to do with anything? What does North Korea have to do with anything? Unless you're making a silly clickbait argument. That's exactly what it's doing. And then Charles coming back, the toddler that he is with a subpar punch. One of the dumbest debates in finance is over payment for order flow and its alleged corruption. All noise, no facts. Meanwhile, retail has made more money trading thanks to payment for order flow in the history of trading. Yet there are alleging smart people saying the system is rigged. Allegedly smart people. My Noka analogy stands. No, it does. What? This guy, I think he's had a bit too much vodka. I really do. This is why he should not be tweeting. I think he hit the vodka a little bit too early. He's not thinking clearly on this one. Not at all. It blows my mind. Absolutely blows my mind. All right, so that's your quick update there. It's just so wild. It's just so wild. What do I see here? Trey. Trey's on Fox today. I didn't know. Let me see if I can find a link. We could definitely listen to that. Trey trades. How do I? Is there a time? I mean, it's the full hour. Let me see if I can find this really quick. Making money, Charles Payne. Let me see if I can get to the bottom of this for all of us. Is it going to work?
I don't think people are owing up to inflation. I think it's there.
All right,
I mean,
I have it. Oops.
Shopping.
All right. So when I get a better idea of what time Trey's on, we could watch this. Oops. Yeah. Okay. So as soon as Trey actually starts speaking, I'll pull him over, but more than happy to listen to it. Whoever's talking right now is very loud and annoying. All right, so I have that ready. People are saying look at Twitter. I just don't know the time though. It's between 2 and 3. Yeah, I'm not seeing a time whatsoever. Probably halfway through the hour, like normal. I don't know. If anyone knows the time, let me know. Some people are saying 2:30. Some people are saying 2:45. Who's this guy? Wait, someone's talking. Nope, that is not Trey. That's definitely not Trey. Okay, I'm ready for it. I'm listening whenever it happens. We'll check it out. Okay, hey Matt, what do you think of Baba? Baba, I think is actually one of the most undervalued stocks in the entire market. But with that being said, it's a tough play. It really, really is. It's a great company, huge market potential, but there's a lot of political tensions between the U.S. and China. And on top of that, between China, the party, and also Jack Ma, the founder. It's a tough situation. It's very, very tough. Like I said, I think Alibaba is one of the most undervalued stocks, but because of these other issues going on, it could easily remain as like an undervalued stock. So I would say be careful with it. It's just definitely being dampened. Can you explain the Reddit trend on DRS and what we should do with our shares to know they are really ours and out of the DTC for shorting and dark pool? Okay, so DRS wouldn't do that. Out of DTCC. That's I think you're mixing up a lot of things here. Can you explain Reddit trend on DRS and what we should do? I think you're talking about the computer share thing out of DTC for shooting. So a dark pool is just where it's executed. That's where the trades your shares don't live in the DTCC and your shares don't live in a dark pool. That's DTCC is the clearing corp. That's the thing that's like, okay, like this person bought, this person sold, like let's line all this up. To clear it, that's the 2-day settlement. A dark pool is an exchange. It's in a venue. It's not an exchange. Sorry, it's a venue. You have these lit exchanges, you have market makers, and you also have dark pools. That's another venue. So if you're referring to this computer share thing, that's where people they tend to be a bit longer term investors, such as like Warren Buffett, where it's going to live there, and it does help cut down on FTDs. But I'm a little bit hesitant of telling everyone that, oh yeah, like you should hop onto it, because it seems very, very slow. It's not a platform or a system in which people like are actively trading and very agile traders. So to me, when you're in a play that could, like, you're looking to hopefully top tick a short squeeze, that's not necessarily the platform you would want to be at. That's kind of the research that I found on it. Like, I don't think it's all like it's cracked up to be. So I would ask you to be very, very careful with it, but I am not putting mine on it on computer share, just so everyone knows. Mine are living between various brokerages. And I think right now, whenever you're talking about a brokerage, it really, really does make the most sense for all of us to send our orders to lit exchanges. Very, very important to send our orders to lit exchanges. Right now with payment for order flow, that's the system in which your orders are going from your brokerage right to a market maker, and they're playing the other side of it. So if you buy, the market maker sells to you. If you sell, the market maker is buying it off of you. There are unfortunately other mechanisms in which there's no payment for order flows, such as Fidelity, but still most of their orders are being sent to dark pools. So if you're on Fidelity, not dark pools, market makers, if you're on Fidelity, you can avoid that. You have to go to Active Trader Pro and send your order directly to an exchange, the New York Stock Exchange, the NASDAQ, IEX, something along those lines. So that is one option. And you could also do this on any of the pro platforms, such as like E-Trade Pro. You can directly send it to an exchange. You have the power of that. Interactive brokers. Sending it to a lit exchange is the key here, not necessarily payment for order flow, but a lot of the times they are grouped together. But I strongly believe all of us sending our orders to a lit exchange is the primo way to go. And I think public is the best way to do it. Public.com/Mmat Coors. It is pinned to the top of chat. Up to $70 of free stock, no payment for order flow, no dark pools, no market makers. All your orders going to a lit exchange. Just so you know, public, it's not, they don't have options. They're about to roll out crypto. This is for stock. I like it. It's the most easiest because you don't have to route your own orders, and you already know it's all going to a lit exchange. I have been outspokenly, like, clearly against payment for order flow. I don't support payment for order flow. I'm right now pitching a broker to avoid it. And payment for order flow it's a problem, but the bigger problem is all the orders not going to a lit exchange. That's like the main thing we need to switch here. And payment for order flow is a system, a mechanism that really, it increases the amount of trading that's happening off exchange. Off exchange trading is market makers and dark pools. I want to cut down on both of those. I would rather all trading occurs on lit exchanges. No payment for order flow in Canada adds a fee to every transaction. Buy and sell increases my average cost. So 10 stock at 40 becomes 42. If I pay 10 shares, $9.95. So payment for order flow, it has cut down on commission-free trading. But once again, you do not stop when you just first create something. For example, public is free trading. Fidelity is free trading. So right there, I just named two brokerages that have free trading, no commissions, and do not do payment for order flow. At a certain point, I do respect, as much as it pains me to say it, a little bit of me does respect for Robinhood, because they created a system in which it brought in a bunch of retail because they had commission-free trading. But since then, they did not iterate. They did not improve their business model, and other businesses came in with a better business model and are now like better, in my opinion, for the overall market. So in a certain way, I think Robinhood opened a door for commission-free retail trading. But since then, there have been various improvements where we don't have to necessarily use that model anymore. It's not like the Wright brothers stopped at the first airplane. It's not like Henry Ford stopped at the first car. Once you just make the first one, like, you could get better and better and better. And that's what we're seeing from things just like public. No payment for order flow. And right there, that brings up the question, well, how do they make their money? They have tipping, they have optional tipping, and they also do share lending. But if you don't want your shares lent out, you just reach out to their like computer support system in this chat and you say, hey, don't lend out my shares. And then they don't do it. Take a look at 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. AMC's volume in 1 minute chart. What the heck happened? Just super low. I mean, this is normal. The midday session is just like super, super low. This is actually the common. You see a spike in the morning and then it dies off, and then you see a spike at the end of the day. That's where most volume is traded. All right, we have that. Great, thanks so much. Just want to make sure I get my tennies when I want to sell, not selling until the moon. Yeah, so if you put a big premium in the ability to like be super agile and get in and out when you need to get in and out, this computer share thing, it does not seem to be what you would be looking after. All right, lots of ads here. I have no idea what time Trey's coming on. I'm still listening to a lot of ads. Thoughts on Tesla? What's going on with Tesla? What is currently going on with Tesla? Getting hit today. SPY getting hit. Q's getting hit. Russell 2000 getting hit. It does look like sooner rather than later, it's coming back down to 760, about $9 more. And if 760 can't hold, I'd then be watching 745. I would be looking for a bounce off of one of those levels and an official test and hopefully breakout of 800. But in the short term, maybe a little bit of weakness is what I would be looking at. Hey, everything simultaneously catching a bid. AMC, GME, SPY, IWM. Thoughts to AMC swinging to the upside? Thoughts on it? I mean, I hope it does, but it's dependent on the market, folks. You have to take what the market's going to give you. Right now, the low 37s, I had that mapped out early this morning. We were talking about it right here. Oh, it actually hit it perfectly, pretty much. The low I have today was 37.24. I had support at 37.16. So thus far, that one is coming to fruition. And right now, we're in this area of demand. Clear demand. We see some support, some resistance. We see all of this going on. So I am fully looking for some official demand to be found, and fingers crossed for a nice, beautiful bounce right out of here, and then a test of 41.50-ish, and then I want to see a push back up to 44.20. But we're seeing a nice bounce, What is going on with Fox over here? Let me reload this. We're having some... The ads are just like pausing, and I don't want to like miss what's going on. Percent of Americans who will pay more in taxes under the 3.5 reconciliation bill. Wait. So the 3.5 trillion bill is raising taxes as well? What? This proposal includes one of the biggest tax cuts for the middle-class families in history, cutting taxes from 50 million families and 4 million small businesses. What is this? All right, still waiting on this, and if you're just joining in, like, wait, what are they waiting for? It sounds like I'm being told that Trey will be on Making Money with Charles Payne, hopefully soon, just kind of waiting for the official time. Hey, Matt, thoughts on CHPT? It's the only stock in my portfolio performing well today. Thanks for all you do. ChargePoint, CHPT. Hey, it is actually kind of waking up. Look at this nice support. Once again, bouncing off the support. The risk reward on this one is beautiful right now. You can risk about $1.50, and maybe you're going to target 23.80. Maybe you're in it for a little bit more of a medium term, 27-ish, or maybe you're in it for the long term and you care about checking out 37. I mean, ChargePoint, I'm a fan of ChargePoint. I'm a fan of EV. And right now, the risk reward setup is nice. To me, ChargePoint's at the point where you can get in right now. You can set your risk, I don't know, 20, the mid 19s, and you just kind of forget about it and you come back to it. Is more of like, I would view this to be more of a medium, longer term trade. But the risk reward scenario you currently have going on is very nice on ChargePoint. And really what you're in the bigger time frame looking for is a breakout. You want this trend line break. A lower highs, the same lows, and you want to push and like the official trend reversal that kind of started in December of 2020. All right, we did that. We did that. We did that. We did that. All right. Oh, just so you know, if my whole rant about what was going on with Ken Griffin, Robinhood collusion, jail time, what's truth, what's a lie, a lot of false information being pushed out there. Unfortunately, this time the false information is getting pushed from both sides, both Citadel, Robinhood, the lawyers, all those fancy point people, and also on our side, I'm seeing a lot of false quotes that like were never said, attributed to the incorrect people. I'm seeing false information on both sides related to Citadel, Robinhood, prison time, all that stuff, the Ken Griffin lied stuff. So if you want to know my thoughts on it, my rant from this morning, I did clip that and I posted it to the main Mmat Kohrs channel. It's called Citadel, Robinhood, and Prison. And then I don't know, I think it's one of my funnier thumbnails if you ask me. Sorry, I guess it was just TD. Oh, you were seeing something even more wonky. Can you check out BTCM? Fundamentally a good company. Their financials, check out FTD Play. It's been on the list for 5 days, I believe. Not insane short interest, but the other numbers don't add up. I'm watching 760-ish as my risk. I think it's sitting around support currently. My buzz and another, we're talking about it. It seems like a good play. BTCM 760. Okay, so I see what you're seeing. You're kind of using this. You could also additionally use 7. So somewhere between 7 and 760, I would say is a nice support. Did you create a position yet? Okay, the Ortex, short interest is 16.8%, utilization of 99.88. This is a Bitcoin bit mining. So this one, it seems like it's going to actually be very related to crypto here. So you're going to want Bitcoin and probably Ethereum to bounce right off of their current levels and start to push back upwards. I bet the chart of BTCM is going to be very, very related to Bitcoin's chart itself. So you're going to have to kind of watch crypto, see what's going on there. But in terms of the technicals here, I would definitely use the support between 7 and 760. Hopefully it bounces earlier. It might not. Who knows what's going to go. But that's the support region I would currently use on it and see if it can bend back around. Do you have a position on it, though? I'm thinking about my buzz. So with it, I don't know if you do or don't have a position. I would want to see some buyers like actually step in, and that'll probably be pretty equivalent to buyers stepping in on Bitcoin and Ethereum if I had to throw out a wild guess. Thoughts on MMAT? MMAT was having a pretty solid day. MMAT, it's at like a breakout level, resistance, support. If it keeps pushing, I would be watching 8, but it's at resistance right now. Like it needs to keep pushing, and then I would be watching 8 flat. But it's at resistance actively. Look for MMAT to continue to show this demand instead of getting smacked. So it's kind of at like a very important price level. All right, I think we did all of this. What's your thoughts on Hyliion? So I don't actively trade Hyliion. I do own it in my long-term account. It's another EV play. I got in way back when this thing was really ripping. I'm super far underwater on it, but I really like the CEO. He seems like a very smart, humble guy. Seems like a good leader. And if you guys don't know about Hyliion, basically think of those big trucks you see on the highway, Class 8 vehicles. They have a system that redoes the powertrain. So they go from normal diesel over to EV. And I believe it's using natural gas, I want to say. I used to know a lot more about it when I was like actively following it, but I know enough that I still do like it as its long-term potential in the EV sector. I'm not actively trading it. Maybe one of these days when it starts turning back upwards around above 10, above 11, maybe I'll lower my average on it. But it doesn't have the nicest range. Like to me, this isn't like a nice active trade. It's more of like, okay, do you want to bet on the trucking sector in the US for EVs? Hey man, Apes and Wendy's and Corolla lovers, Matt, can you possibly check out Token? It's been up 1,000% in September, post squeeze play. All right, let me check this one out, Ryan Patrick. I'll write that down. All right, I'll check that out, Ryan Patrick. Got it written down. So many So many different cryptos to dive into and learn about. All right, is IWM actually going to bounce here? I like this. Look at the SPY, IWM, AMC, and GME all bounce simultaneously. So right there, I see when sometimes people see similarities, they like automatically think manipulation. Seeing similarities doesn't have to be manipulation. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Because right here, this just tells me that money flowed into the market. It flowed into the S&P 500. This is a multi-billion-dollar move. It flowed into the Russell 2000, multi-billion-dollar move. AMC and GME individually. You just see money flow in and flow out sometimes. So like I said, it doesn't have to be manipulation. It definitely can be. But sometimes you see instances like this where entire markets are bouncing simultaneously, and then the stocks within those markets also end up bouncing. The amount of ads I've been listening to is ridiculous. What else do we have? Okay, people are asking for the updates on this. Yeah, we kind of there wasn't much of a change. GameStop, they borrowed $217,000 against it, short interest of 14.33%. For GME, net return of $49,000, short interest very high at 20.74% against AMC. Crypto looking a bit weak. I'm just trying to see if the market, is this going to be the bounce point? I want to see some green. All right, I think I got up there. Let me just double check one thing. Hey Matt, new EV plays. What are your thoughts on Tesla versus Lucid? And listen, I keep hearing about Remain and Polyester, which will go IPO soon. Just wanted to take thanks again. Okay, Dave, great question. So basically, Tesla versus Lucid, I think they can actually both win. I like both. I think they're both strong candidates in the EV sector, especially if you're looking more for a long term. I don't think you have to pick one over the other. In terms of those ones that are about to IPO, I don't think it's a good idea to play IPOs right now. Recently, the main thing we're seeing with IPOs is that there's a lot of excitement. It runs up and then they end up getting crushed. I don't know. I got completely burned on the most recent one I got burned on was the Coinbase IPO. So I'm a little IPOs, they recently, it does seem like there's too much excitement. They shoot up and then they dump. So I would keep that in mind. I'm at the point right now where the only IPO I'm truly interested in is Starlink. I don't even think there's a date for it yet, but when Elon Musk goes live with his worldwide internet, I think that's a strong business and I want to be involved in it for the long haul. I'm going to probably buy it on day one and then go from there. Other than that, I'm not really too interested in it. It's just the IPO world right now. They shoot up, they come down, then they settle, and after some period of time, then they end up trading like normal. So I just don't want to get caught up in the whipsaw at first. So just so you know, a quick update. So I've been talking to some people that have a more intimate knowledge of just like the markets and what's going on. And I was like, hey, what do you make of this whole Citadel, Ken Griffin, Robinhood? Did he lie? Did he not lie? Is it perjury? Is it not perjury? So this isn't from a legal standpoint, but this is from a stock market plumbing. And I think this is very interesting for all of us to learn. So in his opinion, Citadel will say they didn't instruct Robinhood to shut down buying. Instead, they'll say they just would stop paying for order flow. So that's kind of interesting if you think about the business, and I think this is sometimes how we really need to think about this, is because we're at it and a lot of us are kind of like, oh, okay, is this the argument? Is this the overall argument of you told them to stop the buying? Well, here, you don't even really have to tell them to stop the buying. You could just say, hey, you could think about how you could legally protect yourself. And I think this is very interesting input. You could be like, hey, unless something fixes, you fix something, as in like kind of wink, wink, nudge, nudge, we're just going to stop paying for order flow. Robinhood hears that and their eyes blow up and they're like, whoa, what do you mean you're going to stop paying for order flow? So we need to think outside of the box. We have to have a better knowledge of the business, of what they would do. Because like, you're not going to become like a billionaire in the biggest business by being like stupid and opening yourself up to lawsuits that are like going to ruin you. So to me, I think that's probably a very accurate way to think of it. They might have been like, so if we're focusing on the wrong thing, like even these government officials, they asked them, did you tell Robinhood to stop the buying of AMC, GME, and all these POCs? That might be legally accurate that they're like, no, but that's why we need to know the smart follow-up questions. The follow-up question to that is, did Citadel threaten Robinhood to stop payment for order flow unless something else happened? Think about that. We got to think outside of the box of the kind of like quid pro quo type of thing that they could have done where they're like, oh, this entire time, like, no, like we totally never ever said that. I think that's something to like definitely think about in this scenario. But hang on, there was more there. What else do we had? Really highlights a downside of payment for order flow. Now that the markets is so consolidated, Citadel's decision to pay for order flow is directly equivalent to exercising control over a broker. Also, you should see this consolidation here. Citadel Security was the only major market maker that provided continuous liquidity. Is it a good thing that payment for order flow has made the market so anti-competitive that no market maker exists to provide liquidity besides Citadel? Like, that's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. So with this, I think people, it feels like we're on the edge of like, okay, we're developing into a very good, strong argument. We're getting some facts, but like, we need to think of the next level. Like people, if we just sit there and bitch and moan and like the main thing, like if this argument ends at some hashtag of just saying that some billionaire lied, that will produce no actual change. It's not going to. Folks, this is the world of rich people. If our big ace up the sleeve is like, haha, we got this thing to trend on Twitter, we're not going to get anywhere. I think big tech has shown that, like with Twitter changing it because so many people were talking about Ken Griffin and like then it was being hard to find. Like we need to think in the reality of how this world works. If you think an uproaring on Twitter alone is going to get like true fundamental change to Wall Street, I'm sorry to be the bearer of bad news, but it's not going to. We need to be way more organized. We need to think about the argument and we need to think about these secondary, tertiary, and whatever the word is for fourier type questions, because right there, maybe, I don't know, I wasn't there. Maybe Citadel did not tell them to do it, but maybe they said, like I said, a wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We're going to stop order flow. We're going to stop paying for it unless you fix something. And like that's the wink, wink, nudge, nudge type of a deal where we need to know more about the exact conversations between Citadel and Robinhood and find out truly what happened. And from there, we need to dive into what does it mean for both businesses. Then we need to present that to various political figures to get actual legitimate change. We simply cannot stop as like, oh, some billionaire lied and get that to trend for one day. If that's it, if that's our like flash in the pan attack, it's not going to get anywhere. It's not going to get anywhere. All right. So, okay. What else? I think there's actually more of a follow-up. What else do we have? The tricky thing is that it's probably legally okay for Citadel to adjust their payment for order flow arrangements. This is a legitimate thing you might do to respond to market environments as a market maker. The problem is that Citadel's monopoly, really duopoly because of Virtu. Anyway, payment for order flow arrangement makes this effectively equivalent to exerting direction control over the broker, which would be viewed as a regulatory problem. Realistically, since this was an informal call, they might have made mistakes and directly substituted the two things. That Robinhood chat seems like this is likely, at least on their own, they made the substitution. Let me read that one more time. Realistically, since this was an informal call, they might have made mistakes and directly substituted the two things. The Robinhood chats seem like this is likely. At least on their end, they made the substitution. The problem is that Citadel's monopoly on payment for order flow arrangements makes this effectively equivalent to exerting direction control over the broker, which would be viewed as a regulatory problem. And that makes sense. That makes complete sense. If a shitload, as in a majority of the money is of how Robinhood runs as a business, comes from Citadel, like all that payment for order flow, we'll give you the orders, you give us money. If they're like, hey, like that's just too much control. It's too much power. I think that's a very, very good point. So it didn't even have to be stated as Citadel outright saying, stop this buying. Do position only close or we're going to be screwed. They didn't have to do that. They could just have been like, hey, unless you fix something, there's too much pressure on us. We're going to stop the payment for order flow. And then like right there, Robinhood's like, well, we still need money. So this argument and understanding the stock market plumbing involved, it's so much more incredibly in depth than just saying, oh, this billionaire lied. Hey, folks, they're billionaires. You think they became billionaires by not lying, by not screwing over people's families and businesses? That's how you become a billionaire. No one has become a billionaire without a trail of bodies, businesses behind them. That's how you do it. No one's ever done it, in my estimation, of like completely above board. So if we... Man, I know I'm going on a rant about this, and I'm just trying to burn some time until Trey comes on. But I implore everyone to take this to the next level. How about a hashtag like ban payment for order flow? Ban payment for order flow should be the main hashtag. Something Ken Griffin lied, that's not going to get anywhere. Hashtag ban payment for order flow, that's what the hashtag needs to be. Or honestly, potentially a more accurate one of who lied. It seems like Vlad Tenev clearly lied. One day he says, or Gretchen Howard the day before internally said, market liquidity problem. Next day on CNBC, Andrew Sorkin, Vlad Tenev says, no liquidity problem. One day back to back, major liquidity problem, no liquidity problem. That seems so like that's a T-ball. Anyone can destroy that and be like, dude, you clearly lied. That's bullshit. But in terms of a clear change that we need, hashtag ban payment for order flow seems like the exact main one. All right, I'm still listening to some of these ads. Actually, in fact, this ban payment for order flow, I like it so much that I'm going to tweet that out. If you're on board with that and you want to slap that or retweet or tweet it yourself, I think this is the main thing we got to go for. I really, really do. All right, Brandon Dale, how about a hashtag like payment for order flow? Right there. Like it. I 100% like what you're pitching, Brandon. And I'm right there with you. Right there with you. What's your thoughts on Rblx? Still long? I'm actually not long, but I still love the company. I just had to move around some capital a couple weeks ago. I announced it just to buy up some other things. Actually, it's coming up to an interesting buy. Maybe I'll re-enter here. If you can get, man, I love Roblox between 75, 78, something like that. I think that's an awesome buy. Roblox, I think this is another great long-term buy, long-term hold. Big fan of it. Shout out to Mr. Boulay. Let's get constructive and these submit ideas on how we can better organize versus these hashtags. Time to organize apes together, LLC. Yeah, so I mean, I know some things like in this world when you're trying to I think we do need like a very set list. Like we can't just say things are like unfair, there's market manipulation. It's not like we need to be very specific. Like that. We want the payment for order flow system within the US banned. Right there. That's something quantifiable that like a lawmaker could actually act on, something the SEC can actually act on, banning payment for order flow. Another one would be like, for example, this is an easy one, pattern day trading, PDT. Why is it if you have below 25,000, you're treated differently with someone who has $25,001? So right there, that's easy. No more pattern day trading, no more PDT. So like we need to be hyper hyper specific about what we want. So, I mean, I'm telling you, if you want these politicians to actually get something done, it's shepherding cats. You need to spoon feed them the exact things of what we want, why we want it, and like the reason for like what the outcome will or won't be. All right, hang on. Is this? No. All right, not Trey. Not Trey yet. He's coming up soon. I guess by the end of the hour, maybe. I don't know. All right, we're waiting on that. Okay. So anyway, another one would be in 13F filings, they are not reporting short positions. Why not? We could say that's another verifiable thing. On 13F filings, we want to know short positions. Easy, easy, easy. If you want to talk about the world of FTDs, right now we just get these generic reports about FTDs. Well, I would argue we should get them more frequently. They should come out way, way earlier. And we should also know the types, like what caused it, that like there's various types of FTDs, or I should say there's various things that can cause an FTD. I want to know the source of all these individual FTDs. Why is that not being reported? And the little bit that is being reported, why is it reported so slowly and like way, like it takes way too long? Settlement cycle. Why are we on T2? Why can't we go to T1 to T0 to T evening to freaking instantaneously? We have the technology. So things like that, I don't know. I just rattled off like 5 different things that are so clearly measurable. Like we did this, we did this, we did this. But just to say we want change, things are unfair, where are we going to get with that? To just say this billionaire lied and cheated, well, duh, they're a billionaire. So I think that's super, super important. And with that, I think we almost come up with this list of very like an ape approved list of things that everyone could get behind. And I'm not just talking to win this fight. It could start in the ape community, but we're going to need a lot more allies outside of the ape community. It could come from us, but it's going to have to be something that people who have an intimate knowledge of stock market plumbing are like, okay, no, that's actually smart. We're going to have it where I guess like all these politicians are somewhat on board of like, okay, this makes sense. This is why my constituents like it. It's damaging to the retail public for reasons X, Y, and Z. Like, folks, we're at the point where we truly have to have like a borderline thesis on everything we want change, why we want it change, our reasoning for it, quantitatively, qualitatively, and then how to fix it. And like, we're going to have to do all the legwork on it. That's my opinion on where we're at on this particular battle. I know no one asked for it, but I don't know. I'm just burning time until Trey comes on. Me Maker OG, I'm working on a compiled document like you were asking for, so I can present it to Tim. Once it's finished, I'll share it. Yeah, that would be awesome. And also, like, if you want, hey man, feel free to get the opinion of people like in the Discord. I mean, there's a lot of wrinkly brains in there that could help you out. Matt, thoughts on ATR? I'm gonna throw 100K in it, not financial advice. So ATR is at the make or break it point. It's just at support right now. You're looking for a bounce very, very soon off of like 1120, 1130. If it does break down from here, I would then be watching 9, but we have previous support. We have this trend line. That's exactly what I would be watching on ATER. All right. It sounds like there's a commercial and then we're going to be good. I think Trey's coming up next. Paper chaser. Wait, is this right? Okay. I mean, he has to be coming up within the next 15 minutes. So, like, he must be on at the end of the hour. Ken Griffin did not lie. He is not a liar. He told his synthetic truth, one that he created and sold to us in a dark pool. Nick, you know what's going on. I didn't lie. It was just a synthetic truth. I like that, Nick. That's hilarious. Some of y'all are naturals to run for office. Nothing will change unless you change it. DC is bought and paid for. Lip service is all we get. Yeah, I mean, I'm not a person... folks, I mean, you see my reaction to these keyboard warriors in here. I would say a high majority of this community likes me. And then when you become a politician, 50% of the country hates you. I don't know if my personality makeup like could possibly handle that. Imagine that I'm running for some sort of political office and then I'm just ranting about banning people. Like I'm live streaming. I'm like, hey, this is Matt from Matt Strats coming at you from the Capitol. We're talking, I'm on the Housing Financial Service Committee, blah, blah, blah. And I see like a pissy comment and I'm like blocked. And I'm like, you can't do that. I don't think I have the maturity to be a politician. I would just like freak out. Oh man, that would be funny. It would be like, imagine that. I'm like, I'm still running a YouTube channel as a politician. I'm like, all right, streaming from a phone. I'm like, all right, don't forget to like and subscribe, share with a friend. Oh, that'd be too funny. But hey, maybe that's what we need. Maybe that's exactly what we need. Are we going? Hello? All right, I know you can't hear it yet. I'm just waiting for these ads to end, and then we'll come right back to it. Oops. All right, I'm just waiting. Just waiting for these commercials to end. All right, just waiting. Da, 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 da. Matt, I really appreciate the role you're taking to clean up some of the accusations flying around the internet. I don't think people realize how much easier to prove someone of actual issues, crimes, manipulation, or whatever it's going on. If all of the other noise was not in the way, I feel like people are making it way harder by suggesting that everything is corruption. So when you and others with some actual influence have to find your way through all of the cobwebs to get to the actual truth. Yeah, and that's... Okay, so I guess obviously like as part of my job, social media does hold a special place in my heart. And even for this movement of AMC and GME, it's very social media driven. So like, I'm not going to say it like I dislike it, but there's obviously cons to it also being so intertwined with social media. And one of those problems is exactly what we see every other week, basically, where people are out there and they're just saying and doing things for likes, views, like upvotes, whatever they want. And they don't realize that like sometimes that when they get to a bigger level, if you're spreading misinformation, whether intentional or not, it's not good. So not everything's going to be perfect. And that's one of the issues on social media is there's some people in here in this community who don't necessarily, the truth of the situation isn't their driving factor. They would love something that just gets them notoriety and brand development. And that's problematic.
There's just a lot of small investors trying to invest in the market in a different way. I mean, a lot of them saw their parents follow that paint by numbers approach that was espoused by the so-called smart money over the last 20 years. And they saw their parents, a lot of them get busted during these market crashes or hold portfolios long-term that never lived up to the hype. Now, collectively, they call themselves the apes, and they've withstood an avalanche of ridicule. In fact, it's only strengthened their resolve. One of those investors, Trey Collins of Trey Trades on YouTube, joins me now. Trey, let's start with the last 48 hours. Hashtag Ken Griffin lied has been tweeted at least 150,000 times. The company Citadel finally responding. They had a series of their own tweets. They stated that they didn't ask Robinhood to limit trading activity on GameStop or other names. They also said Ken Griffin did not meet with Vlad Tenev. Why are these issues so important for the apes?
Well, Charles, as always, it's a pleasure to be back on. It's important because these are the things that the apes have been talking about since back in January, late January, when all of the shenanigans took place, when they took away the buy button, and you had all these issues come out with Citadel and Melvin Capital and Robinhood. You had big players like, for instance, you've got Rich Greenfield, you've got Jim Cramer, which, by the way, I've got a $5,000 donation to your charity of choice if you come and argue your short position against the apes on my channel, who've been telling us we're wrong, and we haven't been. There's as far as I can see, the plain proof, the leaked documents from these Robinhood documents prove the whole time the apes are right, and that is important. It means we're getting somewhere.
But you don't expect Citadel to come out and say anything more. I mean, so they're saying that Ken and Vlad never spoke. On January 27th, Citadel executed an extraordinary 7.4 billion shares on behalf of retail investors. They're saying that they're the only major market maker during this time, providing continuous liquidity. It feels like they're trying to warm up to the apes. You buying it?
They say that as if it's a good thing, that they're the major source of liquidity. I see that as a problem. And furthermore, I view this as plausible deniability. They had very exact details in every single part of that whole tweet. And I've talked to a couple of the apes who happen to be lawyers, and they're all rolling their eyes reading that right now. That is plausible deniability to its best. I don't buy any of that. In fact, if that sort of thing happens, you go through 9 months of radio silence, that's just confirming my thesis, man. You're not making yourselves look good.
Hey, on Friday, I saw a piece in Benzinga, which is one of my favorite periodicals, and it was titled, Why AMC Could Go Bananas. I love the play on words there. They pointed out that it's near support, 60% of trading volume, though, in the dark pools. And, you know, here's the thing. Can AMC or GameStop or any of these other names ever reach their potential, Trey, in your mind, as long as that much stock is traded in dark pools? Do you ultimately need the SEC and others to level this playing field to reach the potential?
Well, here's the thing, Charles. In the 9 months that I've watched AMC, dark pools have been an issue the whole time. I haven't gotten to witness what it would look like for AMC or GameStop or any of these other huge ape stocks to truly run up if there wasn't blatant problems within the stock market that were limiting the way they run. I would like to think that if everything was going to a lit exchange and there was truly supply and demand, right, buyers meeting sellers, and it pushes the price up based on that supply and demand, the price would go much higher, right? But there's outside forces that are sadly playing a factor. I'd love to see the SEC step into this. And what my fingers are crossed for is that they're just sitting on the sidelines quietly figuring out what the heck to do.
You know, Trey, I got to run, but, you know, diamond hands, diamonds are created over a long period of time through a whole lot of heat and a whole lot of pressure. Are the apes up for it?
I'll tell you what, I've watched a lot of things come and go over the last 9 months since January. I got in this 2 days before that run up to $25. And the apes have withstood it all. Some really great moments and some really hard moments. And the people who truly believe in what this stands for, beyond just the trade, beyond making money, true market change, conviction in a better market for everybody, they're not going anywhere because they stand for that, whether or not the price is up or the price is down.
Trey, it's always a pleasure. Talk to you again real soon. By the way, folks, this is a perfect time to tell you I'm hosting a new Investor Revolution Town Hall. It's going to be on November 9th at 2 p.m. Eastern. More and more people like Trey challenging the Wall Street elites. They're reaping huge profits, and they want their independence. And I want your questions. Email me at investinginyou@fox.com. By the way, if you're in the New York area, you can sign up to join me in studio. I can't wait to see you. We'll be right back.
All right. That was our boy, Trey from Trey Trades. Right there. I think that was a good interview. With it, I wish, just talking about the SEC and fixing like what they should or shouldn't be fixing. I just don't know. There's no way all this off exchange trading, like there's no way, like no way that could be the sign. That could be the sign of a healthy market. It's just all the off exchange market makers, dark pools. Like, let's get trading done on lit exchanges. I don't see why. I just don't see why. It baffles me day in and day out. It also sounds like he has a little bit of a cold, so I hope he's all right. Some sniffles in there, so hopefully he's not under the weather. Check your Twitter message, Wool Rage. All right, will do. Wool Rage 10910. Hey, Matt, quick question. What do you think about VIAC long play expiration 122 around 47 strike? So VIAC, when you're asking me about a long-term play, no, I wouldn't. I mean, it's going nowhere. It's I wouldn't mess around with options on this one, Anthony. It's just, I see no movement, and you want movement, especially if you're messing around with stocks. But ever since this sell-off in March, just flat. So I don't know if I would be a fan of that particular play. Politicians have one job, and the job to get reelected. They will lie, cheat, and vote any way to help them to the end. Pressure helps. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of them, unfortunately, maybe they get into it for a positive reason of like, okay, they believe that like they can prompt and foster legitimate positive change for the world, and then after it, all of a sudden they realize some of the let's say not so positive nature of the world and our political system. And like you said, it seems like they, even if they don't start off that way, it seems like it's not too long before their main goal is just like how to get reelected. How to get reelected, unfortunately. But hey, we just need that one person to push it for us. Exciting announcement. Dan Berkovitz has been named SEC General Counsel effective November 1st. We look forward to having such a thoughtful leader with deep experience in financial regulation and administrative rulemaking joining the SEC. Dan Berkovitz. That was just tweeted out by the SEC official account. All right. Someone just said Congress in total chaos right now. This is from the Zero Hedge account. Oh, wait, what is this? This is posted by, I guess, Yahoo Finance. Citadel Security, whose founder Ken Griffin testified about the episode during a February congressional hearing, fired off a series of tweets late Monday denying allegations that it pressured Robinhood to restrict trading. Robinhood, led by Chief Executive Officer Vlad Tenev, said in an emailed statement Tuesday that the lawsuit paints a false narrative of collusion with Citadel Securities. Griffin added a statement of his own on Tuesday. It must frustrate the conspiracy theorists to know and that Vlad and I have never texted, called, or met each other, but I must say kudos to Vlad and his team at Robinhood for the remarkable success story. Oh, man, that's not going to go over well. That's not going to go over well. I don't get it. I don't get it. If they're just digging themselves in a very, very serious hole here, a very serious hole. If this goes in the way that just like, holy cow, I just don't get it. When you keep putting out statements like that, all it takes is legitimately, all it takes is one little shred of evidence right here. What was that exact tweet? Oh, shoot. That they never texted, called, or even met. Like, how, like, man, if there's a lawyer listening right now, I feel like I'm right in saying that their lawyer has to be ripping their hair out. Like, just shut your mouth. Because now when you keep putting out more and more statements, you're going to have more statements that people can look into to disprove you. So now all of a sudden, if someone can be like, whoa, on Yahoo, he just said that he never texted, emailed, or met. And now all of a sudden, remember, the government did take Vlad's phone. And if there's a little message in there from Kenny Boy, be like, well, what do you mean you didn't text him when we have a text from him right here? What do you mean you never had a phone call? We have a phone call right here. Or like, we're looking at your Google Calendar, man. What are you talking about? It says meeting with Ken Griffin. Like, it's just, it seems so dumb for them to continue to talk about this. I mean, for us, it's beneficial because like the more and more they talk, like there's like a greater likelihood of us finally finding out and getting to the bottom of what we need to get to the bottom of. But geez Louise, like the internal counsel to Citadel has to be like just on fire right now. Like, just what are you doing, man? They're probably just begging him to shut up. Actually, I want to find this article. Yahoo. Citadel Robinhood. One hour ago. Citadel. Oh, this was originally posted by Reuters. Citadel Securities never requested, intimidated, or agreed, or otherwise sought to limit or restrict the trading of such securities, Citadel Securities said in a statement on Tuesday. Wow. What else do we have here? Yeah, so the name of the article, the other one is Ken Griffin, Robinhood Strike Back at Fresh Outrage Over GameStop. It's posted, I guess, on Bloomberg, but it looks like they have a network with Yahoo. I'm reading it on Yahoo, but it looks like the original post was through Bloomberg. Separately, Tenev defended his firm's business model in a Wall Street Journal op-ed on Tuesday. Payment for order flow, he wrote, allows the company to offer commission-free trades with no account minimums, which has helped a new generation of retail investors get started. Banning the practice, he said, is unlikely to help retail investors get better prices and would likely re-erect barriers to keep so many out of the market. Addressing criticisms that Robinhood lures inexperienced investors with game-like tactics to keep the trading more, he wrote, investing isn't a game, but must it be grim and difficult to understand? Man. This is just obviously riddled with falsehoods and dishonest arguments and red herring. It's just littered with them. Absolutely littered with them. Littered. All right, where are we at in the market? AMC 37.74, GME 183.40, IWM 223, and SPY 436. We're triple topping, quad topping, triple topping on IWM, and I guess double topping here at 436. Can you chart IO? It's a late to the game, highly shorted energy stock. IO. Package software. I mean, it's at resistance currently. If it keeps pushing, I would watch 170. So you have about 20 cents. And then from there, I'd watch 2, which is a nice 50% gain. The risk reward isn't that bad. You could risk 120, so risk 30 cents. Your first target is a 20-cent gain. Not the biggest fan of that, but if it keeps going, you could watch $2. Hey, Matt, is there GoFundMe to fly a plane around Citadel HQ? Ken Griffin lied. Ken Griffin to jail. I have no idea about that. I don't know if there's a GoFundMe. Have you and Trey considered that the hedgies might want to wait until the spotlight is off for them to act? What if you guys went dark on a planned day to see if they react? Politicians do it with bad news. Maybe. I mean, I would have to talk with Trey about that. We haven't considered that. It's not like we've discussed that between the two of us, but I kind of like where your head's at. If there was nothing there, would they waste time in dressing it? That's a good point. Would they waste time? Powa Awa, shout out Nikki. Very, very good point. If there's nothing for them to defend, why are both Robinhood and Citadel like freaking out in front of it? If they truly thought nothing was going on, wouldn't they just be like, oh, these people are stupid and they're not worth our time? Everyday trends, something like ban PFOF, ban dark pools, retail, fairness, this community size, it should trend number 1 always. Let's push it. So with it, right there in yours, I think you actually kind of have like I guess these are good examples. But for example, hashtag retail fairness. Like, if the right politician is listening to that, what could they possibly do with retail fairness? Hashtag retail fairness. They could be like, oh, okay, like everyone wants fairness. Like what's not fair? That's the first question. Like, think about how they'll respond to that. The first time a politician sees that, they're going to say, well, what's not fair about retail? So I think to me, it makes more sense to argue for something like ban PDT, because okay, like they clearly want pattern day trading to go away, and then from there it's just like one less step, because then the question is like, okay, well, why do they want it banned? And then we could say, well, because it's silly that people with less money are being treated differently in the market. They'll either agree with that, disagree with that, and hopefully we have the person who can argue for us that agrees with it. Ban payment for order flow, same thing. Like it's sweet, it's to the point, it's actionable. They're going to ask us, why would you ban it? We have to have the proof, we have to have the write-up, we have to have the evidence behind it to present to them, and then hopefully they understand it. Or we can, something about like the 13F filings. I can't off the top of my head think of a fancy hashtag 13F, like hashtag report all shorts. Right there, I came up with it. Look at that, I'm already selling myself short right there. Hashtag report all shorts, bam, to the point. And then the question is like, okay, a politician would be like, well, wait, what do you mean? Why are they not reporting short positions? So right there. So I like those three. Ban payment for order flow, report all shorts, ban pattern day trading. Who knows? Maybe we could come up with a fancy one of like fix the settlement cycle. That's a bit too wordy, a bit too long. But that's another main one I would argue about. Been a hot minute since I've been in this chat. Shout out to the Twitch gang. We love you, buddy. Shout out Clubfoot Billy. Shout out everyone on Twitch. Shout out everyone on Rumble. And of course, shout out everyone on the YouTube. The YouTube. AMC support, think it'll drop below 37 again or 35 again. No, I mean, it found itself exactly where we were watching this morning. I mean, early this morning before the stream started, we were checking out this, like basically previous support, resistance, and now we have support right here, 37. So nice bounce off of that. And I'm looking for this. I want this to get back above 38.10. And then from there, we could watch 39.15-ish. Off-exchange YouTube like button. You got something against off-exchange transactions? Hey, let me put it this way. The only synthetic thing I like are the synthetic likes I get on my streams. Hey, Matt, great live streams. Besides AMC and GME, do you see ATR as a good squeeze play? Do the Ortex numbers show for potential for a squeeze? So with that, AMC and GME are wildly different than ATER. I guess for you, the result would be the same. As like, I think they are all legitimate squeeze plays, but AMC and GME are very much in their own league because they're symbolic of the fight for market fairness. ATR is just an FTD short squeeze play. So both, I think, can make a lot of money, but I wouldn't consider them to be in like the same league of play. Do the Ortex numbers still show the potential for a squeeze in terms of, yeah, this is in reference to ATR? Yes, in my opinion, they do. Check AMC Ortex advanced loan average return. Check the spike yesterday, old shorts covering. On loan, hang on, let me check this out. What are you saying? Advanced on loan average return. On loan average age returned. I don't know where you're getting returned. Am I blind? Would you say click on advanced on loan average age? I'm not seeing an on loan average aged. Oh, right here. On loan return. So I think you're mixing two up. The average age is how long the average age of these shares on loan is, which is 67 days. Check the spike yesterday, old shorts covering. No, if it spikes up, that would mean that new ones are covering. Because you would want for the number to go up, the older ones have to continue to be there. If old ones covered, you would see it drop in the average age on loan return. And then this is just a magnitude of how many on loans were returned up here. All right. What else do we have? Thoughts on GME, AMC 2-to-1 split. Thoughts on AMC? Oh, like in terms of your money? I mean, they are AMC and GME in terms of, I guess, all the metrics behind them. They are a bit different. They have a different short interest. They have a different float. They have obviously a very different price. So with that, I mean, I'm in both. I really, it's tough to say one is better than the other because like they're not, I don't know how you would compare the plays. The comparison to me is that they're both symbolic of the public's fight for market fairness. But other than that, I mean, like, they're in a different sector. Like I said, different short interest, different float, like different. There is quite a bit of overlap of the people who support them. But even that, like, if you, on the Venn diagram, you saw the edges of a different type of community support. So just to say, like, oh, this one, would you say 2-to-1? Like, one is 2x better. I don't know. Like, I don't know how I would come up with that metric. Senator John Kennedy might be a good politician attention to get. After all, he asked that one man if he was their daddy. He holds nothing back ever. You their daddy? Can you give us the word of the day? Happy to. Parlay. Parlay.
Parlay.
Parlay. Parlay means to turn something into something of greater value. For example, the recent fuck up by Robinhood and Citadel could be parlayed into a positive progressive change for the stock market system in the US. Parlay. And then, so that's the Merriam-Webster one of the day. Let's find the Urban Dictionary one, because those ones are kind of fun. Where is it? Word of the day. Why is this not coming up? Urban Dictionary, word of the day. They're like making it. They're like trying to actually define word of the day and not give me the word of the day. So I guess we just get the Merriam one. Word of the day. Yeah, they're not coming up. That's a bummer. I like the Urban Dictionaries. Sorry, I meant a 2-to-1 stock split to drive out shorts. A stock split wouldn't drive out shorts. DATS is ripping. Can you give TA or text info? DATS, I believe, is just like an oil play. Yeah, it's just moving. I mean, I'm not going to buy an all-time high. I don't know. It could keep ripping. Who knows? Maybe this thing is just going to keep going. But I'm not going to buy it here because I don't want to be the bag holder. Like, whenever you're buying it at a new high, you're kind of saying, hey, I'm willing to be a bag holder, and I'm unwilling to be a bag holder. So with it, if you're in it, I mean, the most recent point to get in it was back here at $9. At least that's the way I would have been looking at the situation. But right now, it's just up too much. The risk is way too far away. I'm not going to risk $5.50 on a $14.50 stock. Just not my thing. I know you don't trade or follow OTC, but can you take a look at VGGIF if possible? Take a look into the fundamentals when you have time. VGGIF. Plant-based brands. Still looks super new, so there's not technicals to be done on it. So I'll dive in and see if I can find out some of the fundamentals, Paul. What do we have? What do we have here? All right, I think I'm up to date on that. Dope. We are good. All right, SPY trying to fight a little bit. What are we at? We have about 45 minutes until the market closes. Do we have any other breaking news? What else do we have? Guess there's some sort of boxing match coming up. A former lab director at Theranos revealed in court that he was a source of Wall Street Journal reporter John stories that led to the collapse of the startup. Theranos, if you're not following that story, it's an absurd, crazy story. Man, wild. Paying for Taco Bell with Dogecoin may soon be a reality. Love it. Doge gonna be accepted payment seemingly everywhere. Hitting the debt ceiling is the worst possible outcome for the dollar, Janet Yellen says. This would be a disaster for the whole world. Purple line is the 100-day average. Second attempt to channel reclaim coming. So we have a bounce in the SPY, I guess, off of the 100-day moving average. Hey, Mathis, I'm just a Bulgarian boy. I don't know what is a lie. Please buy me my company stock. Put it on your watch list. Please pump hood. Kenny is threatening my little loins with payment for order flow. Help from yours truly, Vlad, the little Bulgarian boy from Bulgaria. All right, what else do we have going on? Just looking if there's any news we need to go over. All right, AMC waking up. Watch that 38.10 level. SPY waking up. GME's currently at 183. AMC's currently at 38. Hey, we're seeing some things spin back around. What does Unusual Whale have to say? Any breaking news from our politicians doing dumb things? What else? What else? What else? Just trying to get some news for us. Trying to figure out what's going on. What is going on? Out of my own curiosity, and whatever, you could do what you want. What? Some ding dong on YouTube. Check out the latest sign up Kohrs is pushing. Truly amazing. Also, his mobs are running his YouTube like Nazi Germany. Mods, you just got called out on Twitter. That's so wild. Yeah, apparently the mods kicking out like racist, homophobic, like just dumbass talk is Nazi Germany. That's the most insane. People make that comparison way too easily. They're like, this is Nazi Germany. Like, that's so stupid. Also, there are some people in here that like they think they're part of the ape community, that they're just so dumb. So dumb. Public, I guess this person's issue is with Public, but just so you know, Public sends all your orders to a lit exchange. Robinhood doesn't, Webull doesn't, Public does. It is the Public thing. Don't trust him as far as I can throw him. Seems to have gone off track, pushing a lot of institutionally owned stocks like ATR, for example. Wow, this guy's dumb. I hope he's listening right now. I really do. I want him to know how dumb I think he is. Hey, guess what? Institutions own AMC and GME. It's just one of, like, are we like circling back? Like, I feel like we get over these arguments. Like, for example, the convertible bond. We all know people who are pushing this convertible bond thing. And like, what do these naysayers, do these fake apes, like they just run out of things and they're like, oh, we're just going to circle back to something else. And now what? We're circling back to the whole distractions thing. Like ATR. Do you know how much money people made on ATR? Do you know how much money people made on SPRT? Do you know how much money people made on crypto? Like, if you're not making money, don't act like you are just, like, it's just jealousy. Like, it's just pure jealousy. Wild. It's the Wild West, folks. Welcome to the show. Yeah, so I see someone is asking about Trey's interview. It happened. If you want to see it, you can just rewind on this stream, but it's here. It already occurred. It's about 3:20 that I'm talking right now, so you're going to want to go back about 30 minutes. It happened around 2:50-ish p.m. Eastern if you want to watch it. It was a good interview. Solid. In my opinion, he represented the community well. Hedgie Asset Destroyer RICO protocol activated. You block people for calling you dumb, but you're allowed to call them dumb. Yeah. Like, in fact, you can do that. When you run your own show, you can do what you want. Like, I know that's just going to drive people nuts. Be like, how could he do that? Well, folks, if you are running your own live stream, it turns out there's no rules. I checked into it. I could do what I want. In fact, a week or two ago, I just banned a person to see if I could ban a person for fun, just to get the audience going. That's it. That's life. I do what I want. Like, get so mad, be like, hang on. He has different rules for like what he can say and what he can, and what other people can say to him. Hey, I run the show. That's just gonna like drive people up the wall. Literally, I do what I want. Like, I don't even have a good excuse of like, oh, but like, wait, he said this, consider this, consider. No, I do what I want. I do, like, this is my show. Dan freaking out. And Dan, by the gracious nature of my heart, I won't be banning you. I'll let you stay. Oh man. Can you quickly explain computer share worth transferring my lowly 22 shares of GME? I mean, low shares are not low shares. I don't think anyone should be transferring any shares. I don't think people are fully, well, many people are. But to the people who are maybe just hearing about computer share, you need to know that it makes you a lot less mobile. So if the ability to get in and out quickly is like something that like, or specifically getting out in the event of a squeeze, computer share is slow. It is slow. Computer share is meant for people who like, they're very long-term investors. People like Warren Buffett use it. I don't see any good credibility for people who are trying to like perfectly thread the needle of a short squeeze using computer share. You have the big head now. Oh man. Oh, folks. On loan average age return is the right above the dividends at the bottom of advanced options on this one. Okay, so on loan average age of the returned. Interesting. I actually haven't looked into this one yet. So shout out to Indiana James. Average age of returned. On loan average age returned 89. A bunch of old shorts getting out. That's how I would do it, Indiana James. Like that, like I think your interpretation of it is right. But how about I just double check? I'll email or text to make sure that just to make sure that our understanding is correct. Shout out Karthik. I do what I want. Love you, bro. Like, as if I'm gonna let some like ding dong just people on the internet. Hey, stop that. Hey, stop. No, folks, no. Oh, the fun we can have. The fun we have here on the interwebs. I think I'm just all hyped up because they called my mods. They run it as if it's Nazi Germany. Like, what a crazy message. Message Ben. There used to be 29,000 people in chat, but 20,000 were banned. Yeah, it was just too many. I was like, bam. No, with that right there, that's one of probably two things. I guess I've fallen out of the good graces with the YouTube algorithm. And it's also just, I guess people not watching it actively. Like, so with it, my first original big explosion was GameStop. My second explosion was through AMC in like covering that news story live, like in the days that there was those huge run-ups. So I think with everyone seeing that insanity, they're like, whoa, like what happened? And I guess just those particular apes that like maybe just wanted to follow the story maybe not watching. I don't know. Maybe people are going back to school because that happened in June. So if school is out, I guess there could be various things, but those, click on the question mark right here. The average age of the current number of new shares out on loan and the average age of the current number of shares on loan that have been returned. Oh, wait, that's for new divided. The average age minimum, nope. Oh, okay. I don't know. The average, wait. The new part doesn't make sense, but I don't think we care about that, do we? I guess we do. One more time. The average age of the current number of new shares on loan and the average age of current number of shares on loan that have been returned. So Indiana James, to me, that would definitely justify what you're saying. It looks like we had some old ass shorts finally returning here, pushing 90 days old. I've been here daily for 7 months. Shout out Steve. Matt, you better not have gone turbo. Kohrs, Texas Roadhouse. Ban all the crybabies. Shout out Crystal. Conspiracy time. What if Kenny is using the court thing to be the main point the SEC looks in? Like, oh, gee, Gary, here's your AMC GME shorts because Treasury bonds were the most shorted asset in 20. Could be, but I don't know if market makers really would be in that realm of, I guess, treasury bonds. And also treasury bonds are like a much more vast market. I mean, it would be, if you looked at the money in treasury bonds and then the money in AMC and GME combined, AMC and GME combined would be like a P. And treasury bonds would be like the entire planet. Treasury is like a huge, gigantic, multi-trillion dollar asset class, market, whatever you want to call it. Hashtag Fartgate OG. Crapface Ninja's mom on Twitch would like to apologize for swearing, or else she will wash out your mouth with this soap. For the whole group, what's your advice to us that are afraid to switch from Robinhood, feel stuck? I guess I would have to know like why you feel afraid. But if you're afraid for missing the squeeze, based on the transfer windows that most people deal with, if you started it today, I can't guarantee this, but I would be willing to bet a lot of money that you would be perfectly fine. I think most of these transfers do end up occurring in less than a business week. So your transfer will hit by the end of this week or mid next week, something like that. You're not going to miss AMC because AMC, before these crazy days, there's like a couple days of the price action building up, of the volume building up, like a couple entire full trading days. So I truly think that you're going to be okay. I can't guarantee that. I'm not a fortune teller, but if you start the transfer today, I really don't think there's much for you to be afraid about. If you're afraid about maybe just the ease of using a different platform, because I admit it, Robinhood is very easy to use. I think the learning curve takes about a week. Like as soon as you mess around on a new brokerage for like a couple days, you're gonna be like, oh, this is easy peasy lemon squeezy. So I really don't think there's much to be worried about at all. What are your effects on the market crash affecting the potential squeeze of AMC? Eddie, I could see it really truly going either way. I honestly can. You have one scenario where it depends who has to pull the ripcord first, the shorts or the longs. If the pressure is completely felt by, let's say, people like BlackRock, they are going to, if they sell, that's obviously very bad because that's a lot of supply hitting AMC. But if the pressure is felt by any of these people who are short, well, for them to cut, that means buying, and that pushes the stock up. And if it starts to go up, BlackRock could be like, whoa, it's going up. We're going to sit on this position. So in the event of a market crash, it is highly, highly dependent on who feels the most pressure and who feels it more quickly. The people who are already in AMC and GME, or the people who are betting against them. I would in no way feel comfortable. Well, it would be a flat out lie for anyone who knows about the market to definitively say that a market crash would either be good or bad for AMC and GME. If someone is pitching you that, what? No, that's not that reasonable. You just gotta, with that, like, I don't know. I'm not sitting here like praying for a market crash, because I don't think it would necessarily help us. It might, but it also could hurt us. And on top of that, a market crash in general, that is bad. Like, you don't want the market to crash, not just because of finances, but like praying for the demise of a market, especially like a considerable correction. People lose their lives when there's less money in these programs that are giving food and healthcare. A lot of these government programs is money that is sitting in the market. And when there's less money in the overall market, as in if it crashes, that's not good. That means that people go hungry. That means that people go without clothes. That means that people like literally lose their lives because they can't pay for what they need to pay for, especially even if it's from like government subsidies. So I'm not, for like a moral reason, I'm not a person who roots for the market to sell off. If the market does sell off, I don't think it's a reason for you to individually panic, because we know how to trade it. You can make money both ways. So in terms of you as an individual, you're going to be able to make money in any market condition. You can make money in the market going up, going down, going sideways, but that's also you. You've been taught that skill set. There are many, many people who are not in the fortunate position to be able to have excess money that go into the market, that if the market crashes, it still negatively impacts them, and it can negatively impact people a lot. So I guess in terms of AMC and GME, I'm not of the opinion that a crash would clearly help us. And in terms of just being like a moral person in this world, I don't think it's a smart thing to root for the demise of a market, because people, they lose their lives. Like, the end result of a market crash is more people end up dying. And I'm not going to ever root for that. Matt, here are some stats for the shorts. Average weekly box office totals: April to June, 66 million. July to September, 110 million. That is a 60% increase. The shorts have failed, in my opinion. I hold until they pay. I do think that Robinhood ready for the short squeeze, because they have crypto wallets coming in. People like Robinhood seem like they would play all sides. But Robinhood's a brokerage. Robinhood, it's not like they have expertise of when the shorts, like brokerages wouldn't have the inside lane on when a stock squeezes or not. That's not like what their data sets would give them or anything around that. Matt, can you go back and check if we've had previous spikes in Ortex data trends you just found out about, and see if it correlates to any specific price action on each spike? Nick, yeah, that's something that would be very good for me to dive into, like off stream, just so I'm not like wasting time, because sometimes things like that, when you dive into data, can take quite a bit of time. So I'll dive into that off stream and present all my findings to you. Matt, been at work all week. How's AMC looking? What are your thoughts on crypto for the next week? Is Kenny going in jail already? So AMC, not ever since 9:50 this morning, has gone nowhere. Just sideways, range bound in between 38 and 37.40. AMC has unfortunately been stuck in a 60-cent range all day, kind of like what we're seeing in the SPY, kind of like what we're seeing in the Russell 2000. We're just not seeing a trend. That happens. That's one of these days. We're caught up in it. It sucks. It's not fun. But that is where we are at. For crypto next week, I mean, I don't know. That's a very short time frame. A lot of crypto is currently at support, so I'm hoping for a bounce. We're at key levels of support across many, many cryptos, so I hope some buyers step in. And as for is Kenny going to jail? Hey, that's for the lawyers to debate. But I think the concept of just people on Twitter saying Ken Griffin lied, that's not going to in any mannerism lead to like a conviction. We're going to need more than a fancy hashtag. We're going to have to show like legitimate evidence, or some prosecutor is going to have to show legitimate evidence. All right, cool. Smells like mayo. Don't ask, Tennessee Griffin. Can you check out Ortex on BB and explain how short interest shares can be more than the shares on loan? They can't be, David. What do we have going on in BB? So if I look at Ortex and I go to BlackBerry Limited, I am seeing... Oh, that's really weird. I see what you're saying. That logically doesn't track though. Shares on loan 35.33 million and estimated core insured interest 39.9 million. To me, that's a mess up. That makes no sense to me. David, that's a very, very good catch. And like logically, it's confusing. Actually, logically, that cannot hold. I'll shoot them an email and just ask like what's going on there. Is Hood being the only green on my watch list just a big middle finger from Citadel FML? I agree with you, Matt. Many of us are in this to change the way the market works for the average working investor. A market crash has historically hurt those people. We don't want that at all. Wouldn't this be a bonus of have hedge stake during a crash, set and forget somewhat? I mean, I think some of those are the easiest plays to set and forget. I mean, that's kind of my long-term stock portfolio, and it's my entire crypto portfolio of just, that's how I view all those, set and forget. This show is a snooze fest. Good thing no one's making you watch it, Stu. MMAT news, acquisition of NTS approved today. Is MMAT reacting to it additionally? Is that the news? I'm not seeing that news, Lisa. The latest news I'm seeing is from August 13th. Hang on, let me dive into that really quick. MMAT. MMAT. I'm not seeing... Meta Materials claims his merger vote is about to take place amid interest due to the vote taking place on the 28th. So that is today. I'm very, very confused. Looks like they're absorbing NTSFF, Nanotech Security Corp. Why does Benzinga not have an update on this? According to Lisa here, it did get approved. With the merger, I'm just not finding that news, but I'm going to take Lisa's word for it and for everyone else saying that, yes, it is approved. MMAT is at a cup and handle on the daily. Shout out to Rod S. It's a cup, but we don't have a handle yet. This might just be a cup and a breakout. I'm not seeing a handle. Vote approved 98%. So it looks like it was very much approved. Like no one was really speaking out against it. Okay, AMC 3744, GME 181.25, SPY coming down a little bit, just around 434.75, and IWM closer to its intraday low than its intraday high. What do we have? Here is the IWM. If it doesn't hold right here, I'd watch 220 and some change. I have 1,200 MMATA shares showing no value. What does that mean? I believe MMATA is like a placeholder to figure out the dividend payment. So it sounds like you own TRCH before that merger, before TRCH was absorbed by MMAT. So that's the placeholder for those shares for you to get a payment, like a specialty dividend payment, I believe. Any thoughts on XOS getting hammered, but seems prime for a breakout after infrastructure deal passes? Not pumping, just seems like a great entry. So XOS.
Whoa,
motor vehicles.
Super chat.
Keith, I'd be very careful. It's tough to call this a breakout when it's literally at an all-time low. Something must be going on with it that this is. I mean, the infrastructure deal, it would be trading better than this. I would be highly, highly careful with this play. All I'm seeing is the bears are running the day on this one. I've been watching for months now and thoroughly enjoying and appreciate everything you're doing. A lot more I'd like to say, but keep up the good work. Shout out, Zach. That's very kind of you. eToro stated liquidity provider block GME buys. Google eToro team GME close only has been deleted since Ken Griffin was trending. Does anyone know the liquidity provider to eToro and GME? Well, that's what market makers do, is provide liquidity. The liquidity provider is most likely one of the major market makers. I don't know who does it for eToro, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was Virtu or Citadel, just because they provide liquidity to most brokerages and most markets and most exchanges and most of this and most of that. That's the power of the duopoly of market making between Citadel and Virtu. So when you hear liquidity provider, think market maker, and a high chance that it's one of those two. Jesse Ventura had a TV show that aired in 2011. He exposes the corrupt hedge funds on Wall Street who have the SEC and the Gov in their pocket. Whoa, I need to look that up. I haven't seen that. Jesse Ventura had a TV show, 2011. I'll need to track that down. Do market makers own like trillions in shares? No, so market makers are building out both the bid and the ask. They're buying and selling. So they might carry some sort of net position at the end of the day, but they also might carry no net position because they provide liquidity on both sides. And really a lot of it, according to Dr. Susan Trimbath, a lot of the time, they're just doing phantom shares, and then they take care of the settlement afterwards. They're like, oh, we should probably locate these shares and then give them to whoever we said we sold them to and we bought them from, that type of a deal. They are very, very knowledgeable players they have intimate knowledge of stock market plumbing, and they use that to their advantage or disadvantage. And they also have very intimate knowledge about settlement cycles, and they use that to their advantage as well. But a lot of the times they're carrying a lot less risk than you would possibly imagine. And it's just, they're very good at the game they play. And the way they provide liquidity is through owning and selling simultaneously many, many stocks throughout every single minute of the day. And the fact that they're up there somewhat bragging, they're like, we're the only major liquidity provider in this craziness. That's not good. That shows that our overall market is in way more of a precarious situation than I guess the general public is led to believe. Didn't Webull do the same thing that Robinhood did in January? Yes, both. And beyond those two, but there were many brokerages that stopped the purchasing of AMC, GME, NOK, BB, BBBY, NAKD, EXPR. Those were like kind of the main ones, but Robinhood did it, Webull did it, many other brokerages did it. Hey Matt, don't check your Twitter. I didn't send you a DM. Good luck on your interview with Mr. Saylor. Congrats, by the way. I am so freaking excited for this. So, basically, the True Trading Group, TTG, Mike the Ayo, like that guy that you've probably seen some of his ads, they were in a position where they were able to get an interview with Michael Saylor, who is a billionaire. He runs MicroStrategy. That ticker is MSTR. But this conversation is going to be all about crypto. And then they just saw that Adam Aaron is in the realm of he accepting Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Ethereum, and they're talking about Doge right now. And when they saw that, they're like, hang on, do you want to talk to him about businesses accepting crypto and how that could like help, hurt? What's the deal with crypto? And obviously, when you're offered that opportunity to learn more about the insights of businesses accepting crypto and how it helps them, I'm going to say yes. And I did say yes. So that interview will take place October 8th, not this Friday, but next Friday, right after the market closes. So mark your calendar. It will be free. I think it's like a half hour after the market closes. So we'll be here all stream till 4. We're all going to get a quick snack, some food, and then we're going to start that interview with Michael Saylor, CEO of MicroStrategy, huge crypto enthusiast, and the conversation is going to be all about crypto, and my questions are specifically going to be in the realm of businesses accepting crypto. Is that a good idea? And obviously it'll be through the lens of really AMC, but then also I want to dive into GME and NFTs and that type of stuff. Super, super excited. It's going to be great. But once again, not this Friday, next Friday. You're all invited. You should all be there, completely free. A truly special opportunity. Can you check the flow on IO? The flow on IO. Massively bullish. What? 91 versus 9? But okay, this is why. It's because there hasn't been much trading. I was like, this is the craziest numbers I've ever seen. But the call volume and the put volume very, very low. But okay, I don't know if this data is like exactly useful for you, Wall Street Viking. That's wild. Anyway, thank you, Lucas. Market regulators are paid off and will not act in our favor. I urge you to watch Jesse Ventura's Conspiracy Theory Season 2 episode Wall Street. Let me write these down. What do we have? Jesse Ventura. Jesse Ventura Season 2 or Season 2 episode Wall Street episode. Wall Street. Sweet. I appreciate this. Red Cloud. Matt Kohrs, are you coming to our daily Wannacy rally tonight? Right? Jackie Deltona is bringing the Fanta. Shout out Trey's chest hair. Hey, everyone drop some applause in chats for Trey's chest hair, Seraphim Witt, and Jackie. I think they're the ones in, I don't know if other mods are in right now, but these are the three I've been seeing throughout the day. My mods are on fire. Some love, show some love to the mods. They're ones who kind of keep this zoo a little bit together for us. They're the people who put the Elmer's glue in the ape enclosure to ensure that all the apes stay in their cage. What are my thoughts on IDEX for a long-term hold? IDEX. It's been a while since Ideonomics, however you say it. I don't know necessarily like what you would or wouldn't define long-term as, but in the short to medium term, it's not all I'm seeing are lower highs. Not the biggest fan about that. If you're asking me about long-term, that's when I want to dive into what the company does, their fundamentals, their growth, their projections. So that's more of like, it takes some time to dive into like a longer-term fundamental play. But in the short to medium term, I'm not the biggest fan of this chart. Why not Gorilla Glue? Because Gorilla Glue is too strong. They like to use Elmer's glue. Gorilla Glue, way too strong. What else do we have? Clubfoot Billy. Oh, well, these are Clubfoot Billy. Those are for the YouTube mods. You're kind of the one who's dominating the day over in Twitch. So if you happen to be watching on Twitch right now, give a little bit of love over there to Clubfoot Billy. I like the way Clubfoot Billy runs it over there. Is he just uses some like light masking tape to keep the gorillas in the enclosure. It's just more of a free range thing over there. I drink pineapple Fanta with my caviar sandwiches. Kenneth C. Griffin. My car just burned up on me. Had to cut the power cord to the battery to get it to stop. Anyway, have another $5 from me, Maker OG. Wait, what's going on with your car, man? I hope you're all right. Please be safe. Jeez. Jeez Louise there. All right. What time is it? Whoa. We only have 10 minutes left in the day. Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're taking down the Wall Street establishment. What is this one? Overflow. What is this? What else do we have? Any breaking news? Yep. Okay. So some people got that interview out there. Sweet. Yeah. So just in case you missed it, Trey from Trey Trades, Trey, known as the artist of Trey Trades, was on with Charles Payne making money today. Looks like some people already like tweeted out and also just on YouTube have just like that interview. So if you want to check that out, I implore you to. It's a good interview. As always, he represented the community well, in my humble opinion. Miami Mayor Francis Suarez says he has been actively trying to sell crypto miners on the opportunity in South Florida. Wait, what? Wait, huh? What's he selling? What's he selling to him? Come here. You don't even have to pay electricity. On the major shift toward mining cryptos in the U.S. amid a widespread crackdown on activities in China, the turning point is now it creates an incredible opportunity for America. Suarez said he has been actively trying to sell crypto miners on the opportunities in South Florida, including clean energy options such as nuclear, solar, and hydroelectric that may be amenable to investors with a heightened concern for the environmental impact of the energy intensive industry. That's pretty cool. So like, I'm sure there's like tax rebates and stuff of people who are using alternative energy, and specifically with the mining of crypto. I think that's really creative. Accidentally bought adjusted option MMAT 6 call October 15th due to Fidelity beta issue. It's down $30 and hasn't changed value in 2 weeks. What gives? Oh, I don't know, Kurt. That sounds like something you'd want to get on the phone and talk to Fidelity about. That seems weird. I don't know what the issue was or is currently, if it's still going on. But if you have concerns of it, like if you're worried that it might get worse, you just might want to cut it loose because you have no guarantee that like Fidelity will make good on their mess up. So I don't want you to get stuck with some sort of like bill that you are worried about paying. I really like dumping a bunch of free cash in Go. Daily RSI is low and I love the company. It is crazy to buy before bottom has established. Today's sell down came with a market drop and very low volume. It's just when you're doing that, like before the bottom is established, it's just you're taking a larger risk, because if that's not the bottom, well, then it could keep selling and then you might get mad. But you're playing it at a higher reward, because if it creates a bottom right off of there, well, then you have an amazing entry. So it depends on how you look at that one. How do you feel about 23 UVXY puts for 10.8? Not financial advice. Not a fan. I think that's way too close. And Soapy Gorilla, I see what you're saying. Like, I do think that they're going to take care of this debt ceiling issue by then, but like, I don't know. I don't like betting on what I think our government will or won't do, because all they do is like, I don't know. They always continually surprise me with their moronic nature, I suppose, when it comes to our political system. So if your UVXY put, which is the market going up, if you're betting on them, being smart and intelligent about this debt ceiling, I mean, you're also dealing with the U.S. government there. So I don't know if that's something I would be betting on, their like intellect. All right, what else do we have? We have a little less than 5 minutes. So just so you know, if you are in any form or another like battling with PDT and you're trying to place a trade today before tomorrow, just so you don't do trades within the same days, it might be worthwhile for you to get your trade in right now. Just a little 5-minute reminder for everyone. Just a little bit of a reminder. I think, I don't know if I have many gamers watching right now, but in terms of New World coming out, I think it comes out today, doesn't it? The 28th? I don't know why that date's in my mind, but I think it comes out today. I think. So, hey, just so you know, if you're a gamer, I hope you're having fun with that. I think I'm going to get it just to mess around and play it and see what it's all about. Just so you know, if I do, I don't know, when I mess around, Trey and I have been talking a little bit about, he found out that I was playing zombies and I found out that he was playing zombies. So there's a good chance that Trey and I end up like streaming some zombies together, and if that does happen, at least for me, it'll end up being on the Twitch or the backup channel. So just so you know, the Twitter, Twitch, and Instagram is all Mmat_Kohrs. If you haven't already, just in general, on whatever stream you're watching on, whether Rumble or YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you could drop a like, and on all those, subs, follow, all that crap. I don't know, it's a silly reminder, but it does help. I see it in the metrics. So it's always the balancing between it being annoying and me like actually reminding people that were like, oh, like shoot, forgot to do that type of a deal. So what's it? There's about 8,500 viewers right now. I see no reason why there can't be 80,000 likes. Like if everyone simultaneously creates 10 accounts that they use, I don't think it's that big of a deal. You know, just synthetic likes. We're all about the synthetic likes here. If they can synthetically short, why can't we synthetically like, you know? What else do we have? You gotta play some chivalry. Not sure what that is. Are there any other good zombie games besides Call of Duty? Oh, I have no idea. No, I'm not much of a gamer. I'm just getting into the last time I really played video games, it was like a decade ago. I was in high school. So now I'm like restarting it, and I'm really not that good, but it's fun. It's a nice way to blow off some steam. What's the support on AMC? We're kind of at support right now, the low 37s. We're currently at 36.94, but with it, remember, a breakout and a breakdown isn't really defined as it just going above it or over. It's all about, can you close there? Are you trading volume there? And this is some quick little flush in the last minute 30 of the day. A lot of people are saying Resident Evil, just for anyone who wants to know about that. I can't believe you've never heard of Zach Morris. He's like an ape swing trader on Twitter. If you had him on the show, he must be listening. Oh, I'll look into him. Like I said, yeah, I haven't heard of him, but I'm more than happy to dive into him. I'll check his account. I've been in since January, like most, but I get frustrated. You've always helped me not jump off the ledge. Thanks. Stay strong. I'll shout out Chris. It's 3:54. You got to go check on Charlie Gasparino's segment on the claim-in countdown a few minutes ago. Absolute insanity. Oh man, how would I find that if it already happened? Is there a way to like rewind the claim-in countdown? I feel like you guys just send me this stuff because you know I'm gonna get like just freak out because I have like no ability to. Yeah, since it's show clips.
Pretty diversified, and they're carry rich.
Yeah, I don't have the ability to rewind it, but I will, I suppose. I bet they post the clip later. That would make sense. Lots of zombie games. Back for Blood, World War Z, DayZ. So yeah, I guess yeah. For you guys, ding ding ding. Ding 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 ding. Casino is closed. Casino is closed. As for the Gasparino thing, I'll see if I could track that down and I'll do like a live reaction to it. But you guys do it. If you keep wanting me to do these rants, and like just respond to stuff because you know it like actively like makes my blood boil, you have to know that one day there's going to be like I'm going to send all of you a portion of my heart doctor bill. Like my cardiologists are going to be like, your blood pressure is way too high for way too long. So all of you like look for your like little share, your like 400,000th like little cut of my like heart bill. Oh man. So I'll find that. I'll check it out. But just know that you're going against my cardiologist's wishes. Because in a couple years, they're not going to be too happy with the state of mine. Dingity ding ding ding. All right. Casino is closed for today, Tuesday, September 28th. So here is the plan. We already, where is this? Is this already up? Let me find myself. Okay. So right here, we just posted this. It looks like 46 minutes ago. Oh, speaking of Gasparino. So like, I guess, shout out to like my clip guy, already clipped me freaking out about, look at that. You could see the distress. Like I can't even hold it in. So that video is up on the Kohrs Light channel. And then on this channel, actually today, I just, you guys know, I've been fighting with it. So I'm attempting to do things better, or at least differently to see if I can like kind of, I don't know, in a weird way, trick the YouTube algorithm. So on the Kohrs Light channel, we had the Gasparino thing. And if you want to know what's going on with Citadel, Robinhood, prison, jail time, here's the Here Johnny one. So feel free to check that out. But that's on this main channel. So a video on the main channel and a video on the Kohrs Light like extra channel. One is for Gasparino, the other one's for Robinhood, Citadel, and basically Vlad and Ken. But this one, the Citadel, Robinhood, and Prison one, I do think it's important just because like I'm attempting to get out actual information instead of just like bullshit that people are retweeting endlessly on Twitter. I think it's good to actually get the truth out there. He tried to say the ape community is synonymous with a group of conspiracy theorists that don't believe the moon landing was real. He would say that. I mean, the dude, whatever. He's a joke. He's going to get fired one of these days. One of these days, we're all going to have a party. We're all going to live stream just drinking a cup of champagne together when Gasparino gets fired, because I wholeheartedly believe you cannot continuously lie the way he is and not eventually lie about the wrong thing and get fired. Yeah, I don't know. Wild. So anyway, thanks for all the support today. Video on the Kohrs Light channel, video on this channel. I'll have the update video for you. And then tomorrow, 9 a.m., crack of dawn, with all the farmers in the world, we will be up. We'll be working. I'll be here at 9 a.m. and we'll have another normal day for Wednesday, September 29th. Folks, thanks for the support. You're absolutely phenomenal. Best audience I could ever ask for. You're the best audience in the entire internet. Thank you so much. I'll catch you later today. I'll catch you tomorrow. Remember, from me and Chair, best of luck in the markets.